Welcome to our deep dive on the future of hiring. You gave us some interesting articles about transferable skills, and I'm excited to dig into them with you. We've got a couple from Forbes, one by Marcus Bryant, it's from September 2024, and another by Cheryl Robinson. This one's from April of that year. Plus, we have one from the Albany Business Review by Christopher Walrath from March 2025, and then to finish it off, one from Coursera that was published in February 2025.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see how this is popping up everywhere.
Right.
And from all these different sources, too.
Bryant's Forbes piece really got me thinking. He asked this question: can experience really guarantee adaptability? And it made me wonder if we're kind of stuck on some outdated ideas about what makes someone qualified, you know?
It makes you think, that's for sure. Especially these days.
Yeah.
Everything's changing so fast.
Right.
And it seems like all these articles are pointing to transferable skills as like the magic key. Like if you think about it, these are the skills you can take from one job to the next. And it doesn't even matter like what industry or what specific tasks you've done before.
So it's kind of like a superpower that travels with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So could you give us a couple of examples of what these transferable skills actually look like in real life?
Sure. Think about problem solving. That's valuable no matter what you do. And then there's things like leadership, communication, even hard skills like data analysis. They can be transferable too if
Wow.
if you really understand those principles and how to apply them in different ways.
Okay, so transferable skills are obviously valuable, but why are they all of a sudden so important? Is it all tied to how fast things are moving these days?
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Companies need people who can adapt fast,
Right.
learn new things quickly, handle any challenge that comes their way. In fact, Bryant's article even says that focusing on transferable skills lets companies build a more adaptable workforce. They can access a wider pool of talent, and they can even spend less time and money on training.
Plus, they might even be able to spot future leaders
Exactly.
at some unexpected places.
Yeah.
Like that story about the executive assistant. She used to be a teacher.
Oh, right.
Perfect example.
Totally.
It just challenges us to think outside the box when we're looking at potential.
Hmm.
Her organizational skills and her problem-solving abilities, she learned those in a completely different field, and those are what made her so valuable to that company.
You know, it makes you wonder
Think it out.
how many talented people we've been missing out on
Yeah.
just because we're so stuck on those traditional ideas of what experience looks like.
Especially with all this AI and automation stuff.
That's true.
Like that one Forbes article talked about.
Yeah.
Maybe those technical skills aren't as important as they used to be, you know?
I think you're right. If AI and automation are taking over all those routine tasks,
Yeah.
the really valuable stuff becomes all those things machines can't do, you know? Creativity, critical thinking, empathy, really complex problem solving.
It feels like the Coursera article goes even deeper
That's it.
into specific transferable skills.
Mm-hmm.
They list 6 of them,
Okay.
with some pretty interesting examples for each one.
Examples are always good.
Oh, definitely.
Helps to really get it, you know?
Yeah, it makes it real.
What kind of things did they talk about?
Well, one that stood out to me was critical thinking. They had this example of a teacher designing their curriculum, but they do it specifically for the needs of each student.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty brilliant when you think about it.
Yeah, that's going above and beyond. That's not just knowing the facts.
Right.
It's understanding everyone's individual needs.
Yes.
And then figuring out how to teach them best.
And they had another example about a data scientist asking, like, totally original questions of data sets,
Okay.
digging deeper to find those insights that other people might miss. And then this one I really connected with. There was this union rep using critical thinking to advocate for factory workers, asking those tough questions of employers to make sure everyone's safe.
That's powerful stuff. It really shows how critical thinking isn't just for academics.
No, not at all.
It's about challenging assumptions,
Yes.
thinking about different perspectives, fighting for better outcomes. That's important everywhere, don't you think?
Absolutely. And that was just one of the 6 skills they talked about. They also mentioned problem solving, adaptability, teamwork, attention to detail, and even management.
Wow, that's quite the list.
It is.
I'm curious, what were some of their examples for problem solving?
Oh, they had some good ones. There was the classic cashier example.
Okay.
You know, thinking on their feet when the system crashes.
The worst.
I know, right? But they figure out how to keep things moving.
Right.
And then there was this example of an accountant behind the scenes kind of stuff, streamlining the filing system to make it all more efficient. So both good examples of problem solving, but in different ways.
Yeah. One is about dealing with that sudden crisis.
Right.
And the other is about seeing how to make things better even when everything seems fine on the surface.
Exactly. And then for adaptability, they had this warehouse worker who seemed comfortable doing like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Packing, inventory, deliveries, even helping to negotiate shift schedules.
Talk about being flexible.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person who can thrive anywhere, especially these days.
Totally.
That kind of adaptability is so valuable.
And for teamwork, they had this example of a waiter juggling orders, managing the kitchen, keeping all the customers happy, all at the same time.
Oh, that's a tough one. It's high pressure for sure.
It is.
But it shows that even in those fast-paced jobs, teamwork is still essential.
Definitely. You got to have good communication, collaboration, and you can't lose your cool.
That's right.
For attention to detail, they talked about a ceramics worker carefully inspecting each tile, making sure there were no imperfections at all.
That's a good one. It's not just about being picky. It's about taking pride in your work, making sure everything is high quality.
And then for management, they had two really different examples.
Okay.
One was a stage manager keeping a live theater production running smoothly.
Whoa, that's a lot.
I know. And the other one was a parent juggling, all the demands of family life.
Both of those show how you can organize, delegate, manage a lot of moving pieces at the same time.
For sure.
That's the kind of experience that translates to leadership roles anywhere.
So if we're starting to think about hiring in this new way, focusing on potential and transferable skills,
Okay.
how do we actually do that? How do we identify and then showcase those skills?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is, both for ourselves and for potential candidates. Well, that's where all the practical advice comes in. Thankfully, both the Coursera and the Forbes articles give us some pretty helpful guidance.
Perfect. I'm ready to dive into that next.
Me too. Listeners, stick with us as we explore how to make your resume really stand out in this new world of potential-driven hiring. Okay, so let's get practical. The Coursera article has this 5-step exercise for figuring out your top transferable skills.
Okay.
What I love is that it starts with you, with self-reflection.
Makes sense.
They give you this list of common skills like communication and leadership, problem solving, that kind of thing. And you pick the 10 that just feel most true to you.
That's smart.
Yeah, right? So often we jump into job hunting without really thinking about what we're good at
Yeah, totally.
and we actually bring to the table.
We just start firing off resumes.
Yeah, exactly. And this exercise forces you to slow down and think about your strengths.
I like that.
Then it gets even more interesting. You brainstorm how you've actually used those skills,
Okay.
not just at work, but like in your life too.
Interesting.
So it's about connecting the dots, showing that those skills aren't limited to one job or one role.
Right. It's showing that you really own those skills.
Yeah.
You can use them anywhere.
It broadens your perspective.
Yeah.
The next step is to narrow it down to your top 5.
Okay.
The skills that have really made a difference for you.
Makes sense.
And then, and I love this part, you find specific achievements that prove you've mastered those skills.
It's like building a case for yourself.
It is.
That's a great way to think about
And
it.
it ends with ranking those top 5 for most impactful to least.
Okay.
I can see how this would be so helpful, whether you're looking for a new job or even thinking about a total career change.
Speaking of making your resume shine, Cheryl Robinson's Forbes article has some cool tips for showcasing your value. She calls it the value formula.
The value formula. I never thought about my resume as a formula.
It's kind of a catchy way to think about it, right?
It is. What is it? What's the magic formula?
It's skill plus achievement or result plus impact equals value. So you're not just saying, I'm good at this.
Right.
You're showing how you use that skill to get actual results.
So instead of saying, I have project management skills, you'd give a concrete example.
Exactly. Imagine this. Led a team of 12 to successfully deliver a key project 3 weeks ahead of schedule. That's your achievement, the result of your project management skills.
Okay, I see how that paints a much stronger picture.
Right.
And then, to really drive it home, you add the impact.
Yeah.
Something like, this early delivery allowed the company to start the next phase sooner, speeding up the product launch and boosting market competitiveness.
Boom. Now you've shown how you use that skill to create a positive outcome.
Hiring managers love to see that kind of stuff.
They eat it up.
But how do you even figure out your unique value in the first place?
That's a good question. Cheryl Robinson suggests a deep dive into self-assessment.
Okay.
She calls it identifying your core competencies,
Mm-hmm.
your achievements, and your personal brand.
Okay, break that down for me. What are core competencies?
These are the skills that really set you apart, like your technical abilities, your soft skills, those things that come naturally to you, A&D, that are in high demand in your field.
So it's about knowing your strengths, but also understanding what the market actually values, right?
Exactly. What about achievements? That's where you showcase those measurable results.
Okay.
Think about accomplishments you're really proud of, things that show how you made a difference. And remember, numbers speak volumes on a resume.
Ooh, good point.
Quantify whenever possible.
Got it. Quantify, quantify, quantify. Now, what about this personal brand piece? Isn't a resume supposed to be, like, impersonal?
Yeah, it's not about being flashy or anything. It's
Uh,
about subtly showing what makes you you, like your work ethic, how you approach problems, your leadership style.
mhm.
Those things make you stand out from everyone else.
So it's like letting your personality peek through,
Yeah,
even on a formal document.
exactly.
But all of this needs to be presented in a way that's clear and concise
Oh,
and
definitely.
easy on the eyes.
Thankfully, Cheryl Robinson gives some formatting tips, too, in that Forbes article.
Okay, good.
Think bullet points to highlight accomplishments. A strong professional summary that tells your career story.
Mm.
And always, always tailor your content to the specific job you're applying for.
So no generic one-size-fits-all resumes.
Nope. It takes effort to customize for each opportunity.
It does.
And remember those two transferable skills we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
Adaptability and creativity?
Mm-hmm.
Well, both the Albany Business Review and the Forbes articles have advice on how to make those shine on your resume, too.
Those are definitely hot skills right now.
They are, given how quickly everything's changing.
So what are some of their tips?
For adaptability, think about specific times where you embraced change,
Oh.
learned new skills fast, or thrived in a really dynamic environment.
So it's about showing, not just telling.
Exactly. And maybe even sprinkle in some keywords that those applicant tracking systems look for.
Oh, right, the ATS.
Yeah, like quick learner or flexible, you're
Mhm.
speaking their language.
Smart move. Now, what about creativity?
Similar advice. Showcase your creative problem-solving skills with real examples.
So if you've worked on some cool projects, include links to your portfolio or case studies.
Perfect. Anything that lets your creative thinking shine through.
Right.
And don't forget to quantify your achievements.
Right.
Instead of saying you came up with a creative solution,
Yeah.
explain how that solution led to measurable results.
It's about painting a clear picture of your value proposition.
Exactly.
So much good advice here.
Mm-hmm.
What about people who are making a career change?
That's a good question.
Any tips specifically for them?
Cheryl Robinson really emphasizes tailoring your skill descriptions to the new role you're going for.
Okay.
Even if you got those skills in a totally different field, you've got to connect the dots for them, show them how your seemingly unrelated experience actually prepared you for this new challenge.
That makes sense.
One last tip.
No.
Think about adding a dedicated skills section to your resume. It lets you highlight both your hard and soft transferable skills so they really stand out.
That's a great idea. It brings everything full circle, back to those core competencies we were talking about.
Right. And this all ties back to the bigger picture. We've been talking about resumes, but this shift toward transferable skills is about way more than just getting a job.
Right.
It's about how we think about learning and development our whole careers.
It's like that Albany Business Review article said, future-proofing your career.
Yes.
It's not just about what you know now.
Yep.
It's about constantly adapting and growing to stay ahead of the curve.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that's a perfect transition to our final thoughts. It feels like we've discovered a whole new way to think about our careers.
It is new, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
We've gone from experience being like the most important thing
Right.
to, well, now it feels like transferable skills are the real key.
Yeah. That Coursera article, that 5-step exercise,
Mhm.
that really stuck with me.
Yeah, me too.
It's so practical,
It is.
for figuring out what your top transferable skills are.
It is. It makes you stop and think
It does.
instead of just rushing into things.
And remember, it all starts with you,
Right.
with self-reflection, choosing those skills that, that really resonate with you, and then finding those concrete examples
Yes.
of how you've used them.
Show, don't tell, right.
Exactly. And don't forget that value formula from Cheryl Robinson's Forbes article.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
When you're updating your resume,
Okay.
think skill plus achievement plus impact equals value.
It's such a simple way to think about it.
It is, but it really changes how you present yourself.
It does. It makes you think about the results. Not just the skills themselves.
It's about going beyond just listing skills
Yeah.
and showing how you've actually used them
To make a difference.
to make a real difference.
Right.
And as you're working on that resume, remember to tailor it for each specific job you're applying for.
Yeah, definitely.
Highlight those skills and experiences that are the most relevant.
It takes more time, but it's worth it.
It is. It shows you really care.
It does.
So what does all this mean for you listening right now?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
This whole shift towards transferable skills,
Yeah.
it has some huge implications for how we think about learning and development.
Our whole careers.
Exactly.
It's not just about getting that one specific technical skill.
Like, it's bigger
It's
than
about
that.
one particular job.
It's about those core competencies
Yes.
that make you valuable anywhere.
In any role, any industry, that's what it's all about.
It is.
That Albany Business Review article, the one about future-proofing your career,
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
it really hit home for me.
It's not enough to just post, you know?
No,
We've got to keep learning, keep growing, keep adapting.
to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly.
It's not enough to just rest on your laurels.
Nope.
We have to be proactive
We do.
about developing those skills
Hmm.
that'll keep us relevant, adaptable,
No matter what happens.
no matter what.
No matter what the future holds.
So as you're thinking about your own career path,
Okay.
think about this.
Mm,
What skills will help you thrive?
I don't think that.
Not just today,
Right.
but 5, 10, 15 years down the road.
Yeah, what will make you indispensable?
In a world where technology is always changing.
When the only constant is change,
Right.
that's a powerful question.
It is. And remember, this isn't just about, climbing the corporate ladder.
It's not.
It's about personal growth,
It is.
being a lifelong learner,
Absolutely.
being ready for whatever challenges come your way.
That's what it's all about.
So there you have it. We took a deep dive into the future of hiring,
We did.
explored how potential is becoming more important
Than just checking boxes.
than just checking those boxes on a resume.
That's right.
Transferable skills are the key.
The key to a whole world of possibilities.
We hope this has been insightful
And empowering.
and empowering, yes, for all of you.
Keep learning, keep growing, and never stop exploring your potential.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We'll see you next time.